Ame Kusetemam Kanyamyo Ekeju Dashamani Soksadrijane Nyoto Sangye Topachingelo.
爸爸跟着东拉下在罗的给
Ike
到
take to pato chena
中间的
chondende
这个
kapcha pomporela gelonge
给
getun
给
chepo dang
咱
tapchi
就
to
准备
sope
给您全部
e se
啊，
chondende zamon javachi
因为人了用把修做用
yang de
这个
se
咱
jang
就
chu
先
sen
把
pa
先
sen
把
pa chen po pa
爸
pa
爸这
chen le
里
se
是
wan
我
chu
们
shera ke
把
paro
我
to
的
chen
先把
pa
咱
sa
们
pata shin pom pom a po te ta la ram je yin tong pa nam pa ta hu
因
e
为咱
sang
这
ge
个
tu
对
se
这个
dang
太
ten pa
把
sha
是
re bu jang
咱
chu
就
sen
先
pa
把先
sen
把进步，爸
Papa
爸这
chere
里
se
是
wan
我就
chula di
给
ke
给
che
姐
me
妹
so
说理
mi ke
解过，
puka la la
这
shera
了
ke
给把
paru
这
tu
个。
chim pa sa
咱
wan
们
cha
这
pa
把
chu
这把
pa
人
ta
这
pa
把
te
的这
di
个
ta
爸
la
爸
pa
家
cha de
这个
ke
是，
che me pa ta chan
咱
chu
就
sen
先
pa
把
sen
先
pa
把
che
先把爸爸这里是
se
我
wan
们
chu ti
是
tan den pa sha
家里
la do ti bu la di
这
ke
个
che
是
me so sha
家
re
里
pu
不
ri
理解
ke
过
pu
理
ri
解
ke pu
过
mo
啊
ka la
啦
la
啦，这
shera
了
ke
给法律都
shi
是，
pa za
咱们
che
这把
wan
这
chu
把
pa ta
这
pa
把
te
的
di
给
ta
他那
nam
把
pa
大
ta wa
娃，
cha te
我
Bom
不
bom
我
a po
不
te
的
ta
大家，
kyang
那
dang
些
shin
的
ke tong
东
pa
巴
nam
南
pa
巴洋
yang
大
ka
把
pa
就
zu
是。
ka wu so
苏
tong
东
pa
宝
wu
东
tong
巴
pa ni
尼
su
苏
so
苏苏
tu
来
plei tong
东巴
pa ni
尼，
shen ma yin tong pa
东
ni
文
le
尼来
kyang
用
su
这
shen
些
ma
嘛
yin
人，
no
这
te
些
shin tu
都
so
说
wa
话
dang
当
du
都
she
些
dang
当
du
都
che
些
dang
当，
nam
南
pa
巴
she
些
pa
吧，
nam tong
我
pa
们
wu
我下
sha re
的，
pu te
来
ta
到
che
学堂
tam che
的
tong
东
pa
巴
ni
尼的
te
新
sen ni
年的
me
吧，
pa
那
ma ke
些
pa
吧，那个。
Dreama me ka
这
dreama
马
ka
单的
dreama
我的
dreama
我
me
们
ka
把
ka
看
wa
我
me
们
pa
把
o
我小
share
的
pu
我
te
的
ta
到，
we na tong
我
pa
把你
ni la
老
so
祖
me
们
so wa
我
me
们
du
都
che
是
me du
都
che
是
na
那
me
年那
na
把
pa
结
she
果，
pa me
你
me me
那
na wa
我
me
们
no
我
me
们这
che me
们
lu
都
me
也
yu me so
都
me
啊，
dra me
去
dream me
年
ro
我
me
们
re
家
sha
呢
me cho
就
me
呢，
do mi
一
ki
个
ka
看
me
没
pa
把呢，
de
一
mi
个
ki ka me mi
一
ki
个
na
那
pa
把
che
些
ki
的
ka
看
po
见
pa
把
tu
多
ya
样。
me do
我
Hare
的话
Pame,
呢，我
Hare
的话
Pase
是吧？
Pame
那吧，
Pame,
我
Kachi
是呢，
Me,
我
Kachi
是这
Se
边
Ke
把多
Patuya
样
Me
的，
Do,
以
Kishin
前
Tu
都
Tu
东
Me
北话
Wata,
的、贵
Kunjong
州话的、
Wata,
河北
Kopata,
的，那
Lame
以
Yeshin
前
Do,
呢，都把
Topa
呢，
Me
马头发
Matopa Ya
样的
Me Do,
多些的，
Share Pu Te
这
Ta
到
We
位
Na
呢，咱
Janchu
就先把
Sempa Nam
我
Topa
们
Me
那边
Peche,
写了
Shara
的，
Ke
把这
Paru Tu
都先把
Chimpa
了，
La
对
Te
面
Ching Ne
那
Te,
个什么
Sem La
的，把
Tripa
那
Me
些
Ching
爸
Trapa
爸。
Me Do, Chin Chin Lole, Chin Tu De Ne Yang
对
Ele
对，大
Pata,
金
Chin Tu.
额比如
Tu
说
sum tu na
两
pa
百
shu
九
pe
的
sam
三
ge
百
tam
三
che
百
kya
的，下
shara
来
ke
的花
paru
都
tu
都
chim
千
pa
把
la ta ni
老
la
南
na
的
me
把
pa yam
看
ta
到
pa
的
so
都
pe
给
sham
上
shu
去，
tu mo
我
pa
把
so
这
pe
个
sa
三，
ge so
也
te
到
ta
位
we na
那下
shara
来
ke
的花
paru
都
tu
都
chim
千
pe
的
nga
啊，另外这
pe
边
nga la
老
la
南
me
那
pe
边
nga
啊，
mi
你
yam
看
pa
吧，
ta
那
nyam pe
边。
nga du
东
ya
北
tam
当
che
家
ra
的
du
都喜
shi
欢
pa
的
che
这
pe
边
nga
啊，
mi
面子
so
都
pe na de
真
pa
的
she
是
pa
吧？
sha te
下来
shara ke
的花
paru
都
tu
都
chim
这
pe
边
nga
啊，你
ne
看，
pataya
他
ta
来
gate
的来
gate
的，把
para
人他的
gate
把
para
人上来。
sangate body so ha
家里
share
我
po
讲
janchu
究三
sempa
八三
sempa
八
chen
千
po
百
te
的，
ta
他下来
share ke
给花
paru
的
tu
都
chim
Amola labore sao
Tene
tene
chom de
chonde
de de
enge
de
de
se le
tele
shin de
chanjo samba samba
po
shimbo
pa pa
papa
che
shere
re
se
se wa
wan
chula lekto
keto she jawa
jawa
she
jine
jine
lexo
keto
lexo rike
rejo
po
ko
te
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 shin
jene
no te te shin te jita
raje
ke
de
pa
kama
shin tu
shindu
kera
shera
ke
de
paru
aro
tu
do
chin pa za mola che pa
shaba
ja
ja
de
de
lu
di
ke shin
shen
che
shekwa
pa nam
nam
kyam
yang
che
che
su
so
yi
de
rang ho chom de
amne
de
de
ke
je
ke
de de
sa
je
ne se tang te pa
Yamba
cha lo
share
do
da
ki
de
bu
ko
tam
tam
cha chu
chanjo
sen pa
semba
sen
semba
po pa pa
baba
che re
shere
se
se
wan chu
wonjo
tam
da
tam che
tanje
tan de pe ko
Koro
te
de
pa
da
tam
da
la
haba
tam mi
ni
tam
da
la ma
hala
yin tam chi sa che pe chi
ni
te
de
mi na
yura
te
de jon
chom de
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 ke
je
so
sung
pa
ba
la
la
mo
ngo
pa
ba ra
to
de hala je be na
ne
cha
chok tam pa ne ngo
we
shi
san
so
tu
chu
ju
nga
ma
we
we
tu
tu
tong
tu
chen
je
tu
tu
pa
ba
bo
bo la
la
ma
ma ya
ya
pu shin se mi
ne
tu
to
ka
kan
do
de so
so
la
pa
cha
cha
de
se
lu ar ga zama de zama de zama de Arga Samaranza
Raga
Chandara
Samaraya
Samara
Taya ta gate para gate para sam gate body so ha papa
Baba
kuncho
Kunjo
sungi
Sumi
kai
Ke
de to
Tambe
be
Doji
che
She
Papa
Baba
gyuchi me par gyuchi shu par gyuchi rap gyuchi wa gyuchi Gering to tran gyuchi shi wa ta mi tu no pe kyo tam tre wa ta tum pa tu chi pun so so pyo pe rap tu pe kyo pe ke de de shu Sangye chedang soki chok nam la jang chu pa du da ne kyap su chi da ge chen so ge pa de da ge jo la pen che sangye du pa sho sangye chedang soki chok nam la jang chu pa du da ne kyap su chi da ge chen so ge pa de da ge Jola penche sangye chupa sho sangye choda soki chokram na jangcho padu dane kyap suchi dage jin soki padi che sangye chupa sho Samchen tamche dewa tam dewe gyu tan den par gyu chik samchen tamche do myao tan do myen ge gyu tan rewa gyu chik samchen tamche do myen me be dewa tam rewa gyu chik samchen tamche nyeri tam tam rewi tan yom lai ne pa gyu chik samchen tamche dewa tan dewe gyu tan den par Samche tamche dumye pa dumye ke kyu tan jawar gyu chik Samche tamche dumye me pe de wa tam mi jawar gyu chik Samche tamche nyeri chada nye tan jawi tan la ne pa gyu chik Samchen tamche dewa tan dewe gyu tan den par gyu chik Samche tamche dumye tan dumye ke kyu tan jawar gyu chik Samche tamche dumye me pe de wa tam mi jawar gyu chik Samche tamche nyeri chada nye tan dewa tan pa gyu chik Tom palame sangye rinpoche, kyo palame tamcho rinpoche, dren palame gedo rinpoche, kyabne kundu kyo la chak selo, mosham yi chu cho pa malu po tome so dikdo tam che sha, ke pa gyawa nam la je iran ko ma to pa tu le shun Rola chöki kola kowa ku da chenge nam jang chu che ho. Short mandala offering to request the teaching. Sashi perki jo shi ne Tram re Linche indegen ade sa me Si sol lu chi chi tu man kyo ön kyang te drawa dong ning ro pa ro we ko ke yang jo sen jo jong pa chi ke lo idam guru ratna mandala kam niryataya
Sanje
Vedam Soki Chonam La Jang Chopa Duda Ne Kyam Suchi Dange Chinche Gepe Sonam Ge Drola Benche Sange Rupa Sho
Sanje
Vedam Soki Chonam La Jang Chopa Duda Ne Kyam Suchi Dange Chinche Gepe Sonam Ge Drola Benche Sange Rupa Sho
Sanje
Chudam Soki Chonam La Jangchu Padu Dani Kyap Suchi Dapi Chuje Gepe Sonam Ge Drola Benche Sange Drupa
Padang la me me da me je om ba da ja je lo zo chi ye cha la je wa na ma san ye sum ba ra do je we de we jo wa e da je je da me chi je ne de je je a ye ge da lu da ne jin ye lu mo da da ne ge no da do ku je da na je da ba ham je ge do da ge che de do ye se chen bu xi wa le song le den de de wa nie jo ne da ge ge hu ma je no de le lu ba xin me de le mong ba xin me do se de song ba re da de da de ka re se de sa ma da ma ra zo nie ka we de ju ji ane de yu ji de mi lu rin bo chi de da to ju ji de le ya ana ma ra zo da man da le ge wa chi ma ha da mi go ba to tu ya ge de le ge ane 자와 지치마 투가 있나? 어디?
The great Bodhisattva, Acharya Santidewa, gave the following advice. Thus, having found reprieve from all these things, if I now fail to train myself in virtue, what greater folly could there ever be? How more could I betray myself? So the meaning of this one advice given by the great Bodhisattva, the fact that now we have this precious human rebirth with freedom and fortune. This is our time. This is our opportunity. So with this kind of life, at the very least, we must to make sure that in the next life, we will be able to achieve the human life again or the God's life in the next life. Suppose with this life, we are not able to do that.
나 데이터베이스 된주기 때문에 늘을 못이 이 톱에 까불어야 랍존나 산지지 고가 토토바 안에 대마 존내야 타르바서 토토바 근데 타르바지 토마 토베 이나야 여와치마 하다니 고가 다 야보지 koptuyabi tabi chi ngaranzo düzüda kokabdi yöbe kablaya susu döndeki macebe yena ane dele lüba shemedo ro hajangi tabi chi ane rangi ge rang ya gongo tangba chibares susu lang gongo tangbares dende imba sonda dele kukpa chikda dele mongba chik yo mares kares de zamba maraze 지단 총잡이네 가르제비네 되고 안에 지금 몸바당 공고당 발라 속아 연구열에 되다 충족했어. 다들 공고 대비에나 여와 사람의 사람 받은 안에 수술의 경라야 인바지 숨과 인사 안에 되게 안에 유주 돌아당 거이나 화장이 몽벨레가 지그래 된데 싸원이니 지주요 말에서 대수 말이.
So the fact that we have this opportunity within our hands right now, the life that we have now, the greatest profit that we can draw from this opportunity is none other than the Buddhahood itself. Then the next level, the middle level that we could draw the profit is by achieving liberation. And the minimum, at the very minimum profit that we could draw with this life is to achieve a good life in the next rebirth, be it as a human or a God's realm. So this is our opportunity. This is our chance now. If suppose we cannot draw the profit with this kind of opportunity, it is said that, as the great Bodhisattva said, what greater folly could there ever be? We could no more be more stupid than this. So if we're not able to make use of this opportunity, it is said to be very stupid, very obscure, and very ignorant. So for this to understand the stupidity or stupidness, they are not able to gain the profit. So for example, when people in general, we try to do business. So when doing business, it's very natural to experience loss or to experience somebody deceiving us in order for them to gain their profit. And by this, we are experiencing loss. But any loss that we experience in the business or within our activity is considered to be small loss. If we are not able to gain benefit from this human life, is a very big, a very huge loss, because the loss will happen from one life to the next life and to the others. And this great loss will happen if we are not able to derive the profit that we could gain with this one life that we have now.
다 대답이다. 연주기 때문에 르르무치 디토베 뒤주되라야다. 최지고를 해서 다 대슈로. 다 대 미치 중요 말 로천부 인세요 말 로충중 인세요 말 간다 시고로. 시발 시뒤잠바 펜베다 최지다 말아서 안에 베지 인신 겸바다 쉬엄바 수임베이나야 네바도 지고야지레스.
So it comes down that once we still have this precious human rebirth with freedom and fortune, the one task that we need to do is to practice the Dharma. And the task of practicing the Dharma, doesn't have any concern whether one is a young age or old age, or one is a early period of life or later period of the life. Anyone is going to die. This is for sure. And the one that is going to be beneficial during dying time is none other than the Dharma. So it doesn't matter whether someone is a old age or young age or whatever age the person is, practicing the Dharma is a must.
가담모 라마 공매 순준라 된대지여로 마마 게로 림보치 단다 민류 림보치 치마양라 마사라스 민류지 소요인데 된다 가르스나 개왕마데 게롱지 개월렘 버리다 다 세딜라 딜레 테스 두가 민류 렌투바 좀 중거리 다 딜레 두가 제 개와 치마다 니 손이 개야기다 베지 딜리 이 마치 소리다 간다 로
And related to this, we can see one verse given by the great Kadampa masters in the past. The Kadampa master has a saying that in the past, the person is a monk, and then after that he became an ordinary person, and after that he falls into the lower realms. So the meaning of this saying from the Kadampa masters, there could be a person, a practitioner, a good one, and who take ordination to become a monk. But after that, in the next life, the person degenerate just to become an ordinary person. And after that, from this ordinary person, meaning the practice, ordinary practice, after that, in the next life, he fall into the lower realms.
세상다 매마다 rupa kunli siya jingari ta. Rupi da rupto wachir, rupa kunli ki tisun rawa. Kari, ngama cheta ngani nyaba las, kyuni tsundu yongi zoksanji, ngani lele yongi kowa jab, ngani chela chasa mo wasi, dindu ju sun yari. Di tuanda di kari sidi zama ngama di hasa yara, hasa chiyorin bochi, di jedu zama rupa kunli siya di, kora rupto wachirwa. 다 좋은 뒤라 안에 이제 다 좋은 뒤라 안에 차 체도 sama 그런 뒤순도 매만 아니 찍고 찍장이 있어요. 안에 레다 뉴몽이 시험을 교대요. 아니 찍고 찍장이 있어. 이나야 계란게 배지 수수 갖고 대외철라 배되제니 계란 상계버리 계란 줄리온 게 상계서 마 레다 뉴몽이 단다 콜라 도스 캠데요리스 다 네 단다 계란이야 안에 차 체고 유에서야지 뭐든 늦었어요.
Yes. And for this, there is another story, activity conducted by one certain master. Is very famous, known as the name Drupa Kunle. And Drupa Kunle state one verse when he prostrated to the Jawaku or the Sangye or the Buddha's statue in Lhasa. So at one time, Drupa Kunle visited Lhasa, and Lhasa there is one great statue of the Buddha. So before he prostrated, he said something to the Buddhas in the Lhasa temple. Drupa Kunle said, in the past, you and me, Drupa Kunle addressing to the Buddha, you and me, we are the same. We are exactly the same. We have karma and kleshas. But now you are there, up there, and I am here, down here, still in the samsara, and I offer my prostration to you. So Drupa Kunle is saying that the Buddha, even though at one time being same with Drupa Kunle, but then the Buddhas practice effort in accumulating the merit and practice the Dharma properly, and he achieved Buddhahood. While Drupa Kunle at that time addressing himself, he is still in the samsara with karma and the klesha. The difference is very huge, the gap between some Drupa Kunle and the Buddhas, and then the Drupa Kunle said, I offer my prostration to you.
제상 단다 가수바바 말아서 대배다고 산제 좀된디 차샤비네 땅고 말아서 지구 지자르와 제사고 단다 비니 빵이다 안에 뭐마저가 상계버려 가지고 된데 차대야지 말아서 만점버려 제상 말아서 저버체니 아마다 산제 좀된디 나와지다 유야 여러다 어디 유야라 말아서 되지나야디 계셔버 차대요레스.
Yes. So the fact that Drupa Kunle addressing to the Buddha is related exactly with our current condition now. As of now, we met the Buddha teachings. There is a one time, the Buddha that we met the teaching now, there is one time, one moment period that we have the same level, the same exact position with the Buddha, the one that we are addressing our Buddha now. Our condition with the Buddha's condition is the same. But then this Buddha, he managed to abandon the two kinds of obscuration, and in short story, he managed to achieve the Buddhahood itself. So for us right now, it is us now our time to say, just like Drupa Kunle, I need to achieve Buddhahood. The same that the Buddha already achieved Buddhahood, I also need to achieve the same level of Buddhahood. It is for that reason that now practicing the Dharma is very important.
당아란즈 수부디 하장이 교보다 되는 차비나 최야고 지투고요 말이에요. 안에 대상도 맞에 세버데 배 탕나 싸원이는 매바다 뇽번능 신들의 차비나니 나가랑 최지투고요 말이에요. 제사 단대 말아도 류부 탐다 수부디 탐고요 봐. 안에 셈디 단 나가랑 워라스 요어 레지카라야 수수 야고지지마 토비나 안에 수수수수를 좀 받아 지버리스.
So regarding our present condition as of now, as of this moment, suppose someone who is not very healthy, he has a great sickness or something harmful happened to the body, then this person cannot practice the Dharma properly. And then the person, if suppose he has something very great problem towards the mind, like a big problem, a huge problem that cannot be solved, then this is also the obstacle to practice the Dharma in a good way. But for us now, it's not like that, the condition. For us now, the body is relatively healthy. We are relatively can function within our physical condition now. As for the mind, we are now relatively in the same, we're relatively sober, relatively in a good state of mind. So within this condition of the body and the mind, if we are not to use it to properly, to draw the utmost benefit from this current situation, then what will happen? You think by yourself. So it's very important to draw the benefit as of now.
Dor dubi yena ngaranzu misunda shi yina ya da kepsan degori kyong dego yo mara rugi din dego yo mara sheza ngaranzu kepsan deni kyong dego neba yimba sungza ngaranzu kepsan raya ane beji chue namba ta bashi dor dubi yena misite la susu yego meba chita kyong mara ba chigi ane be chue ji ji di geche ba chade yoris.
So we need to be able to exert ourselves in order to drain the bad profit. If not, we will experience what is called loss. So at any given moment time, within one who is still alive, anybody that is still alive, anybody who is still in same condition, anybody who is aware, what does this person want? He wants to have profit. He doesn't want to experience loss. Someone who can think like the real profit can be gained only through the practice of the Dharma. So in short, what is the meaning of the practicing the Dharma? In short, within this life, we do not want to experience what is called regret. We do not want to experience at the end of life what is called loss. So for this, we need to practice the Dharma.
That you uni yoga nashi da kandar chue tepa chenpi chue yinba mi choki yes kansa tepa chenpo jing duwa kwe so se da lamrimna de sumba nashi ane tepa chenpi chue da kandri jik di chebi yinay da kulung suya din ge chenpo resi di sungu yoro jezan di ring kapsu baba jidang tepa chenpi chue zang ma yinba sanga doji tepi chue dan rewa yuba jigri sanga ki chue dan rewa yuba jigri da dremen koru da di shuya rewa jezan 아장기 군은 소야디 게침부지 차대요래 인도의 마선장 예심지 탐제 동의 써야다 되고 토약의 최도 상기 주고가 토바지기 대체도 담배 최야 보지 년에 간년바디 안에 배 냠줄 링게 예사비 군은도 뒤지 소나로나스.
Not only that the teaching must be a Mahayana Dharma, but the person practicing also a Mahayanist practitioners. These are the instructions by the Lamrim or the stages of the path into enlightenment. Following the instruction of the Lamrim, the motivation is very important. And furthermore, especially within this current context, we are about to discuss the Mahayana Dharma related to the secret Vajrayana. So secret Vajrayana in terms of the topic regarding the Aryatara. So this makes the generating the proper motivation even more important. So by now we think, for the sake of all sentient beings, our kind mothers, in order to overcome all their suffering and to present them with the ultimate happiness, we are to achieve these two purposes by achieving the state of Buddhahood. And in order to achieve Buddhahood, we are here to listen to the Dharma, and however much Dharma listening that we can do, we would like to practice it as best as we could. Please generate the proper motivation as of now.
Nadirida Jizu Dreame Garishugri. Tambudelayada Jizu Dreame Lukiro, Kande Kande Jungime Dijik Jero. Ane Nibadi Kares Dusamada, Jizu Dramadida, Kandes Congressero, Condeji. Sumbadi Jizu Dreame Sumag, Ane Deshe. Ane Shibadi da, Ane Dreame Nansiadi Kandi Yimi. Oda Gandare Jose Dizin Shigi Tone Ane Dirima Gazetuji and Shubinis.
Yes. So as for the explanation regarding the Aryatara, we are about to offer this explanation within this session, and we will start firstly by explaining the history of the Tara practice, and then after that, the second one we will see how to meditate on it, on the topic, And then the third one is regarding the mantra of the Tara practice. And the fourth one, we will discuss about the Janam ritual or the permission ritual itself. So within these four points that we are to see the explanation.
다 지단 지주들 마세야 된 거랑저 상마 다 지주들 말이야 대바 요리로 간데스 지고레스 대상바 안에 리지고네 지주들 말이야 차 세고 요리 마게고네 지주들네 숭아 된 거요리 이지고네 지주들 마 공고 요리 다 남윤에 된데 지고로 와지.
So in general, we can say that we have a great faith. People have great faith to Arya Tara. Why? Because we can observe towards the body of the Tara, we present prostration, we prostrate to the Tara. And for the mantra of the Tara, we recite the mantra. As for the mind of Tara, we meditate on Tara. So in general, we can say like this toward the action that people have faith toward Tara.
지단 지주들 말이야 니링 요 말이로 직년 셈다녀와 직 마다 타링와 있어야 된다 가이고지 요 말이 지주들 말이야 니링 요 말이 니나야 고랑 원지 투담 후지 면람게 온게로 파파제레스디 뒤자 임베이나 이게 지주들 말 두비이나 타니와레스 고랑 원지 면람게 온게
Understand? Yeah.
지주들 말이야 니링 요 말이스 이 마다 타니 빈자이 지지 타니 부제 직 가고지 저면서 된데 지지도 말아 요 말아 이나야 말은 정말 파파제레스기 뒤제로 파파제레스기 뒤자 디기 안에 파파제레스기 뒤자 많이 받디기 지지도 말 두바다 안에 파파제레스기 뒤자 임기디기 지지도 말 두바이나 파파제레스기 뒤자 임기디기 지지도 말 두나 타니오레 진랍 조가 주고레 어디리 이 고랑에 뭔지 말람다디 투기 누버레스 버.
So as for the Tara herself, as a deity Tara, of course from her side, she doesn't have any words of preferences to be closer to anyone. So for Tara herself, she doesn't say, oh, she preferred this to compare with others, etc. But then in general, what is closer to us, we can relate back to Arya Avalokiteshvara. So from Avalokiteshvara, it's just for Avalokiteshvara that in the form that is closer with sentient beings, that Arya Avalokiteshvara takes the manifestation into Tara. So from Tara the deity, and the Tara makes connection with sentient beings, and sentient beings in turn make connection with Tara. Then it's slightly closer because it is the wish of the prayers, the wish aspiration by the Avalokiteshvara to give benefit to sentient beings, then manifest in the form of Tara. So Tara can further make connection closer to sentient beings and to give the blessing. And in turn, the sentient beings can receive blessing quicker, quicker in the form of Tara.
레임바 순장 메마다 지주들네 안다디 domden발라다 시시중에 소로 회기 전장 코메 종세디 소리 다가다 domden베 제소장 딩이 비자도서 안에 지주들 메타베지 와젤라서와 직중부에나 코랑이 종부이 있으디 소리.
As for the closeness of the connection from Tara to bring benefit to sentient beings, even the Dromtonpa himself, the great practitioners, he prayed to Tara. In one occasion, Dromtonpa prayed to Tara, "Oh Tara, please take my obstacles. I offer you my obstacles. Please help me."
이마이나야냐 디 숨주지리야 단다 휴지 전화 코메 좀 숨시디 domden바 말이 냐메 조리 무치 레스니 다두다 강다자 단다 지고 차고로.
As for the verse that is being recited by Dromtonpa, it For the Tara, the lineage of Tara, we can see this deity is the one being relied upon by the series of the Dalai Lama or His Holiness. The one that His Holiness we have now is the 14th, but before the 14th, there is a series of lineage. So Tara is relied upon by all the Dalai Lamas, and also Tara is relied upon by all the Panchen Lamas, and all the Sakya Lamas, and all the Nyingma Lamas, and all the Kagyu Lamas. So all these series of the lineage masters from the great tradition of the Buddhism is relied upon the Tara as the Yidam, Tara as the deity. And by relying upon Tara, that these all great masters achieve great realization.
제사 말아줘 이담 돌진 직지세다 남녀 말아줘 지지고로 다디 길루비 철만다다 여기 취지 상명이디 이담 땡거요 말아 따라 이가서는 다 제주 때만데 상명이다 직도 상명이다 배지 이담을 하던 거예요. 제사 거랑 믹스해지 차대요.
Yes. So when we said about the deity that rely upon, or in the terms is a Yidam, so for example, Vajra Bhairava or Yamantaka, there are practitioners who rely upon the Yidam, making the Vajra Bhairava Yamantaka as their deity. But the Yamantaka Vajra Bhairava is exclusively or mainly practiced by the Gelugpa tradition. As for Tara, so Tara as a Yidam to be relied upon, this is not exclusive to the Gelugpa. It is practiced by all tradition. All tradition rely upon Tara as the deity. So in this sense that we can see Tara has this specialty, has this one quality being practiced by all tradition.
제주 드라마에다 루기 슈비이나 다 제주 드라마데다 믹스해지 차대요. 다 간다 루기디야. 지단 말아줘다 배지 이담 가르다 가리면은 안에도 산제다 장주스마 망고지 루기 안에 수윤데 잠바 산제 좀 내데 지딘도 전에 뒤 제일 중주 장냐를 저러. 이나야 지진 되면 루기디 산제 좀 내데 지딘 마제베 뭐니 개바빠고 개바 빡도 매베 뭐니 루기유베다 배지 이담지 차대요레스 믹스된 디치.
So as for the Tara herself, of course, is a special deity, and then for this there is a history behind it, history behind the Tara as a deity and the Tara practice. As for the deity, for example, there are many deities manifestation because from the Buddha. Once the Buddha achieved Buddhahood, then the Buddhas doing the activity to help all sentient beings, the Buddha can manifest himself into many deities, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas within the Buddhas. But for the Tara doesn't necessarily start from the Buddhas, because the Tara already begins way before the Buddhas, the current Buddhas. So the Tara practice and the Tara deity already manifested in many lives before, in the times of the previous Buddha. So this is one specialty about the Tara herself. It already originated way before the current Buddha and the many lives before.
다들 마송자다 지주 드마데데 문 통마메베나 다베 아나 통마메베다 베지 안에 지딩이 컴나서 세야지 다나 말한저 자불링디 다 민지빈 지딩 컴세요 다나 자불링 예마임바다 간다라 지딩이 컴나서 세야게 나서 왜 세야게다 지딩이 컴지글이야 안에 산에 이신시바 마다세야지 저버레스 어디 뒤주들이야 안에 지수 드라마디 안에 개비 보모지기 안에 겨울레마레스 도스리.
So the Tara as the deity already originated in many lives before, in the beginningless time. So in the beginningless time, actually in the Buddhist tradition, we know there are many realms, there are many worlds. This world now that we call Zamling or Jambudvipa is the current world that we are experiencing with our karma. But in the previous time, there are many worlds that exist. And within those many worlds in the previous time, there is one particular world where there is a Buddha which is called the Buddha, the sound of drum, or the Buddha Dundubiswara. And at that time, with this Buddha at that realm or the world, then exists a king, and the king has a daughter. This history of Tara started back then when she was born as the daughter of a king.
제사 갑디 뒤잠바다 데베 다보디다 산제 마타스에 어디로 이인바 손자다 데네 개비 보모 이시 나와서 좀 버려서다 개비 보모 이시 나와데다 베 산제 마테 데바들 화장이 데바체모 시부지 요레스.
So at the time of the Buddha Dundubiswara, the Buddha sound of drum, there is a king which has a daughter by the name of Yeshedawa. So the princess Yeshedawa at the time has a great faith to the Buddha's teaching, the Buddha Dundubiswara, the sound of drum.
데네게 다베지 출라 데바체모지 요바 손자 안에 이시시고 세 가사 마다다 이시시고 마다로 하나 데 코르 장주 세바 닌데라 소바도 솔레야다 닌구르 쉬네 베나 쳐바 피야라 소바 셰라 피야라 소바 와든데 안에 베체 초망부 산네 로망부 바도 와도제 안에 초도 사버리스.
So due to the great faith possessed by the princess Yeshedawa, and at the time there is a Buddha Dundubiswara, the sound of drum. The Buddha has many entourage, the Buddhas and also the Bodhisattva of different levels. So within this opportunity, within the Buddha, Princess Yeshedawa practiced a lot of merit accumulation. She offer offerings, she make food offerings, she does everything for merit accumulation regarding the Buddha.
어디 제발라 때네 안에 보모데 장주지 투기레스 장주지 셈.
Princess Yeshedawa practiced merit accumulation towards the Buddha for many years, and eventually Princess Yeshedawa managed to generate the spirit of enlightenment. The princess generated the bodhicitta.
장주지 투기레 가라야 안에 뭐랑 면남단에다 뭐랑 교화만 보지 싸요로 아와데 교화데 바지 모아자 되잖아 안에 디 코르 산쟁마데 코르 안에 니데다 장주 셈바도서 안에 보면 이신 나와라야 나 계랑 면남자 되잖아 안에 계랑이 류디 단도 보면 류르와 홀 류파 주리아게 계랑 면남 따보세 홀 류파 주니나 계라단데 보면 류딜을 하베 안에 산제기 땜바당 안에 심진기 되망부지 지투야게 안에 배 개발 첨부 요리스 얘네 봐 손자 계랑 안에 배폴 류지파 안에 교토야게 면람 따르세다디 고르닌데 장주 선바도서 되는 풍바리스 이나야다 보면 이신 나와 가르송바레스나 마 류디 교금에서와 가레스나 폴 류딘라 안에 산제기 고반 주비에 망부 시부직 두스 얘나냐 보면 류딘 디제네 안에 가르사 산제기 고반 주비 하장 매버다 버리스 제자 나라 상 마제기 봐서 나 상 마제기 봐도 보면 류라제네 안에 배 심진기 되지기 어디 면함 따고 이세 뒤숨을.
Yes. So the Princess Yeshedawa practiced a lot of merit accumulation, and within this great accumulation of merit, he can practice what is called dedication in order to dedicate all the merits. And because the Buddhas present at that time, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, then at what time the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas gives advice to the princess by saying to the princess, you have accumulated a lot of merit, and with this merit, you can pray to be reborn as a human in the form better than your current condition, in the form of a man's body. So with a man's body, it is usually considered to be more favorable in terms of the practice of the Dharma. And the Buddha said to the Princess Yeshedawa, you could pray to have such a good result. After that, then the Princess Yeshedawa, after hearing the advice given by the Buddhas regarding the dedication, then she replied and she gives explanation. So Princess Yeshedawa said she did not have the intention to change the body's form that she currently has, which is a female form. So she explains to the Buddha, there are many sentient beings in the form of the male body who practice the Buddhas and bring benefit to the sentient beings, but not so many in terms of the female body. So Princess Yasodhara said to the Buddhas, at that time, she would like to maintain the female body, and then with this female body, she would like to offer the benefit to all sentient beings.
ကဒီဒီစမ်းပါဒီဘေးစစ်စီရမရတာဒီစစ်စီရဒီဘေးစစ်စီရတဲ့မဲဘယနာလူဒီဖိုးလူကျူးစတဲ့ဘေးစစ်ဒီမဲဘယနာညလူဒီဖာဖိုးလူလကျူးမယ်ဖိုးလူဒီမောလဖာကျူးစလာဒီစစ်ဒီမဲဘယနာတာကနာကျူးရတဲ့နေကဒီဘေးစစ်စမြဘချင်ဘချင်မရတော့
So at that time, during that time, there is a practice which is called the verses of truth. So the verses of truth carries a very strong power. Whenever they recite it, it can bring into reality. So someone recited to be reborn as a male body, he can attain the result. On the other hand, if someone pray to be reborn as a female body, he could also achieve that by reciting the verse of truth.
ถ้าหมอนาเดมนำดีตับนี่ดีเจลยาตาตากรังมูทุนี่อันนั้นเป็นเจดิชิเชกว่างาเจโคโรจังเซมยินเดลาสกวลยาตานิงกุรมังบุชิกเรตาการสนะหมอนาเกเบปมดว่าเจซะยูเปียนโจละทอลตาเปจิพอยายอมราชิบจิยอรมังบุว่าดูเจเนี่ยอันนั้นหมอนาตากรังเกเบพอดานาลชูเจตากวมจับนี่รอกวมจับธรรมะเดการิเยเบรสิดิซัมบอันนั้นตรงนี้เรามีรับไปสู่ก็ทบเรียสตรงนี้ตัวไปโลจิกันได้อันนี้ที่ตรงนี้ตัวไปโลจิเกี่ยวกับอันนี้ที่เจริญการิเกี่ยวกับสิ่งที่ทำบ้าอันนี้ทับที่สิ่งที่ข้อเลยเจอแต่ที่ยินสิ่งที่ทบเรียสสิ่งที่เป็นมังก็ข้อเลยเจอทุกอย่างนึกว่าอยู่กี่เดี๋ยวนี้ที่ยินสิ่งที่เนี่ยเป็นมรณะ
So based on the practice of reciting prayers and reciting aspiration, then Princess Yasodhara continues. She recited the prayers that she would like continue in the female form. So at that time, Princess Yasodhara, as we know, she is a princess from a kingdom. So because she is a princess from a kingdom, she has no problem with the material possession and the condition to support the practice. So she dedicated her life to do practice. Then mainly is to meditate, to do meditation. And from the meditation practice that she performed, she eventually managed to achieve what is called wisdom, realizing emptiness. And other than that, furthermore, the method that she applied in the practice, she managed to have the power in the form of a samadhi or concentration, in the form of the samadhi, the power of the samadhi to liberate sentient beings from samsara. It is the result of the practice of Yasodhara, the concentration power that is able to liberate sentient beings from samsara.
那某人他被心经忙不垮了呀，这样给他被去定义这对这几年吧，从上心经忙不垮了呀，这吧的，对那个样的了。原来小学告诉小学写了嘛，这个么了呀，俺心经长对这几，俺那垮了这图几个人的，嘛这嘛图把这俺那小学考了3个没写了，俺那广大考了一没呢，大概心经对的广大心经对的这个边呢。 I bet you don't you know, tree, you know, Kazina, what the and a call a drum, Matubazana, Kalasagimesi, what in the Tamjar.
So this power based from the samadhi or the concentration level, the ability to liberate sentient beings from samsara is gained by Princess Yasodhara. And with this power, she could practice exactly based on the power. So the princess would like to liberate sentient beings from the samsara. For example, during the course of one day, so in the morning when the princess wake up in the morning, before she took the morning meals, the breakfast, she generate the wish to liberate certain number of sentient beings, and she would like to dedicate that period of the morning before breakfast time, say for example, a certain number of 1,000 or 10,000, And before these 10,000 or 1,000 person sentient beings be liberated, she would not take the breakfast. So she dedicated that she will liberate a certain number of sentient beings before she took the meals. The same during the course of the day for the meal time at night time. So before she took the dinner, she said that she would like to liberate certain number of sentient beings, and she would like to complete that practice, the purpose first before she took the dinner. And in this way, she worked to liberate sentient beings.
제사 뒤뒤에 송 안에 보모 예신 다와들어야 안에 민균이 드마스에 대 민두 토브레스 심지만 뭐 코라 드베 만나신 바 순자 안에 드마스야 되지다 말한저 답변은 라메 민다야지 여러 어떤 레타버드는 말했어 코라 자외도는 근데 자주서 빼나 맞아 빈디다스야라고 안에 기시에서 알아서 민 원에 지기 따져 말으라 코나 자외 돈에 도지 민을 하되 어디나 싫어.
So in this way that the Princess Yeshe Dawa is conducting her practice in such a way that she eventually be known the original name of Yeshe Dawa. In such a way she practiced to liberate sentient beings that she became known as Tara or Droma. So she liberate sentient beings like a mother helping the children. So Tara in Tibetan term is called Droma. Droma is not a name, meaning that is, for example, there is a certain master with the such and such a name. No, it's not a name, but it's a naming based on the action. So for this, for example, when we say a pandita is someone based on the action, or a geshe is someone is being addressed to because of the action. So Droma, or in this case Tara is not a name, a person name, but Tara is someone based on the action, liberating sentient beings. So she's called Tara.
레임바 손자 갑디디기다 디시시고 마제 룽데나리가 안에 보모 예신다와 될로 체랑이 민 드마시야디 상 마제비 값소에 체라 드마 다가라 레스로 하나 상 제사비 제라의 체랑이 민디 다가라 요함에 방 드마시야디 다가라 되게 레스니 룽데나 그러서.
Yes. So at that time, the Buddha is Tathagata Dundubiswara, and the Buddha gives a premonition, gives a prediction that in the future time, when now time the princess's name is after being Yeshe Dawa, then she is called Droma or Tara. When you are liberating sentient beings in your practice now, you are called Tara. After you achieve enlightenment in the future time, your name will not be changed. You are still will be called Tara. This is the prediction made by the Buddha.
다양한 예제소다 개바 장매바 빡도 매바 대 제소다 야 유주 망부지기 제소다야 지직디 컴라야다 상계 등유 두바가스다 안에 템베다 보주니다 등르지 전도가 안에 갑디 뒤삼바 다가라 안에 제주도마디 어디 값소 야 장주기 투기니 안에 가래 상계 등유 두비 템발라 슈네 안에 두바냠네 망부지 넘버레스.
So the practice of the Princess Yeshe Dawa during the time of the Tathagata Dundubiswara is continuous. After that, for many lifetimes, up to the time when comes the times of the Buddha, which is called Amoghasiddhi. So Princess Yeshe Dawa be reborn again in the time of Buddha Amoghasiddhi. She has the opportunity to meet the Buddha Amoghasiddhi, and in front of the Buddhas and the entourage of the Buddha, she could practice merit accumulation, a huge merit accumulation. And the same history happened at the Buddha's Amoghasiddhi's time. Princess Yeshe Dawa managed to generate the bodhicitta at the time of the Buddha Amoghasiddhi.
갑디 뒤삼바다 모랑다 산제 뒤유두비 때발라 슈네다 베지 냠네 망고지 남바임바 순자 어디 제일 제부 가르토버리 시디삼바 뒤 탐제 넘버 쪽에 띵인지세 토그냐 띵인지 현다지 가르선에 뒤시야디 가르 말하면서라고 돌아
Mara.
어디 이 탐제 파 매버스야게 띵인지 누가 첨부지 뭐나 디 토그 디 토그 인지 잠바 제자다 뒤 망고 쩌버리다 간다 파 매버스리 이 매버스가 임바 손자 안에 도마시야라고 안에 빠모시야라 민들을 터도 찬제도만 유도 빠모시야도
Pamo.
빠모시야라고 도마시야들이 되는 민망 부지 터리디
Tomasina.
도마시나 변다디 가르스나 변나 뒤 답에지 빠지지 지긴지여러 어디 디파 투니
Ale.
게데모로 이제는 하는 밤 냅수여지여러
Yes. So at the time of the Buddha Amoghasiddhi, the Princess Yeshodawa can practice a huge merit accumulation in such a way that she gained a high realization in the form of another type of samadhi, which is a samadhi we can overcome all kinds of mara. So this time, she managed to gain a samadhi level, a high samadhi level, whereby she can overcome all types of mara. So there are many maras, and she managed to overcome all those maras. And for this reason, that Tara is frequently addressed with the title. Tara usually addressed as a heroine, and then Tara also addressed as destroyer, meaning she can destroy obstacles, she can destroy mara.
디 제소야 개바 망괴 제소다 안에 지주들마들로 안에 초주 산제 탐지기 외세체비 원구를 해서 왔다 초주 산제 탐지기 다디 드마들로 디디 지주들마 상계규리다 상계요 말이 어디로 외세체비 원구를 해서 왔다
So this happens again for many lifetimes, from one lifetime to the others, for Tara, the Princess Yeshodawa, and up to the one point when she received the initiation, the great initiation, which is called the Great Light. She received a Great Light initiation.
외세체비 원시야디 가르시디 잠바 지단 된데를 산제 탐지기 있으로 민삼선에 데려와 이네 산제 탐지기 디 갑도 되는 외세 첨부 주토지 어디 가르스디 잠바 산제기 텔레래 산제 라랑기 텔레 임발라 남바데 외세를 망고지 투제 안에 지디 드말마 슈리 마 팀리다 이 팀발라 때네 지디 드마 산게리 다간들 제상 외세 첨부 원 쿠르스에 원디리
So what is the initiation, the great initiation of the great light? So the Buddhas, all the Buddhas, in the middle of the forehead, between the eyebrows, there is a light coming from the Buddhas, and the nature is the activity of the Buddha. The appearance is in the form of the great light in the middle from the forehead. So from the Buddhas, or the Buddhas from the middle of the forehead, the nature of the activity of the Buddha is being conferred, the initiation, the great initiation of the great light being conferred to the Tara. At that time, she is not yet to enlighten. After she received the initiation, the great initiation of the great light, she achieved enlightenment. She became Buddha.
그래서 this 촉주 산제 탐제리세 산제 직접 많이 봐 산제 탐제기 안에 틀레디마 지주드미 지울마 팀네 이 팀발라 때네 지주드마디 안에 도시답이 띵이지세야 되냐네 상계버리다 간다 상계버리 제가 지주드마라 개용드마색도 개용드마색 가서는 자와 탐제기 틀레 직도 뒤바디 지주드마 차리다
So the great light initiation, which is the activities of the Buddha, is not the activity of just one Buddha, but the activities of all Buddhas from all 10 directions. So combined into one, all Buddhas combined into the activities of the Buddha and being conferred, the great light initiation being conferred to the Tara. comes towards the top of the head, enters the Tara, and that time Tara achieved Buddhahood in the form of what is called the concentration or the samadhi level like a Vajra. Samadhi like Vajra like samadhi. The samadhi liking to the Vajra is another term for Buddhahood. So for this reason that the Tara she has other name. Usually we call them the Queen of Liberator, the Queen of the Savior. Why? Because all activities of the Buddha, not just one or two, but all Buddhas with all the activities combined into one, all the activities of the Buddha being conferred in the form of Tara.
我提到的就是这么的，那没有马上知道，就是这么些的，这是中国人是的，陆剧是那的，我都不知道他干的。
So whenever we address a deity, which is called Tara or Droma, Jejun Droma of Tara, this is the short history behind the Tara.
那的陆剧的叫那话，当然那是就有人家叫那开不起，我的专门陆剧就那了的，对那的送我。
Yes. So what is the source of this history? We can refer to practitioners of the Jonangwa, which is called Taranatha. He is a great practitioner. He composed a text, and within this text by Taranatha, the history of Tara could be found.
这代表就是这么的了呀，马上就代表就说话代表呢，家里呢，俺那边住土个人是，那就送过了。
So there is one specialty power that contains within the practice of Tara, Tara as the deity, is that whatever requests that we propose sincerely to Tara, Tara can confer it to us. Tara can grant it for us.
叔叔就那个龙卷的隔壁呢，就是这么了，说话代表呢，俺那用土个人是，俺那边叔叔了呀，他去告诉的。 不买别呢，不过个有别呢，就是这么了，说他们用过的。我们过别呢，就是这么了，说他别呢，用过的也是，那就送有的。
As for the practice of Tara, Tara is very well known. For example, someone who need materials possession, someone who needs that physical material possession, the person can request. Supplicate to Tara, Tara can grant the wishes to have material possession. Someone who wishes to have a son, a baby, a son, this person can also supplicate to Tara. Tara can grant the wish for someone to wish to have a son. Someone who wishes to have a daughter, a baby daughter, she can supplicate to Tara. Tara can grant the supplication by giving the daughter that the person wish.
那的陆剧嘛，我有的是吧？别那他就叔叔就那个隔壁那就是这么了，说话代表那有没有把电影陆剧就送样有，对吧？
So for this, actually, there are a lot of stories, success stories, so-called. So, for example, someone who would like to have a material possessions, and then supplicate to Tara, and Tara confer or grant the wishes, and in turn, the person did actually can gain material possession. So the success story of praying to Tara in the form of the wishes granted.
一个这个事情上嘛，我们家个那里着的，他你不就，平常脚不这个呀的，俺呢，我们这当俺们就中多啊。我们的这当还讲个怎么这个是，你那样米上脚不学不接着，家个六岁了呀，我们米上现在了，那么当过人呢，俺那边边角的嘛不当过不多，就那么不这过不多，你那样搞的就这么慢慢你了的，就那点点要嘛的是。
What do you call that when you want to get married? You have to present seserahan when you want to get married, a dowry. Yeah. So one particular story happens in India, in a place near the monastery of Nalanda. So near the Nalanda, there is one household who is very poor. the household only consists of one mother and one daughter. So the daughter actually is quite beautiful, quite attractive, but however, she's born in a poor family. So at that time, according to the society, the tradition of the Indian society, in order to get married, the family of the bride, the woman, have to present a huge dowry. But that time, this poor family cannot afford a huge dowry because at that time it's very expensive.
다 된대 벤조를 교보제제 미산 교보 인자다 어느 롱고 자가 노도 배샤 롱가 미산 신다데 벌이야다 보면 아마 당약체도 이나야 시라 라민도가 뉴뉴마도 라요스 말이
Long what day?
뭐서는 앞에서 제를 지스 말 배샤 고고도 보면 아마 당 고고도디 롱모스그라
Yes. So this family is very poor, does not have any much material possession. So whenever a beggar comes to beg for things and for money, the household also cannot provide because they themselves are poor.
아깝디 뒤잠바다 미지게 아마데를 랍도와 다 계란 디발라 미션달라 롱보이나 망보라기 말했어 다 딜레 나니달라 로비나 안에 나니달라야 로빈 다와다가 세지 요리스 디녀버레스로 나니달 녀버레도 로 비무루스리 간다디 제가 와델라 제베나 계란 텐덴 라그레스디 라빈지 정도
So actually it's the household when because they are poor, so they do the activities of begging, but since the surroundings, everybody is poor, even begging, they will not get much money from the activity of begging. So one day the mother, so another person said to the mother, the mother is actually trying to get the dowry for the daughter. And the mother does everything, including begging. And then another person come and said to the mother, even though you are begging here, you will not get much anything. Perhaps you need to go to Nalanda because Nalanda is nearby. In Nalanda, there is a great master called Chandrakirti. If you beg there, and perhaps you can see Chandrakirti, maybe you have a greater chance to get something.
아, 이거 로빈 나와다가 제간도니다 로빈 나와다가 제로와 다 아무데기 니주 상마 로빈 나와다가야 슈그리 슈디자마 아니 로빈 나와다가 나가 고지트야 메스 내가 잘라지 유저도 상마니 긴드비 잘라리 니 게르기 잘라 말이 제가 말라 안에 배가 고지 안에 트야 메스도
So in short, the mother went to Nalanda and to see Acharya Chandrakirti. And after meeting Chandrakirti, the mother said the story. He tells all the story, the predicaments, the difficulty. And in short, Chandrakirti replied to the mother, for myself personally, I have nothing to offer to you because I myself, I don't have any possession. Any possession that within my disposal is belong to the Sangha community. This is what Chandrakirti said to the mother.
아, 내주에 아마 셈버 쉬고지 교도 교회 쪽으로 다 레오시 뭐 짬네 비길레디 가고지 라요 말아 아니 이내다 로빈 나와다베 다 말라 가고지 때야 메디 이나에 거기 강고 충주디나라 아니 미지 요레스 어디 제비나 때내 직전에 어디는 라시그레스
So when Chandrakirti expressed the situation to the mother is very sad because initially she came with a great hope in order to receive something. But when Chandrakirti, the great master, said like that, the mother is very disappointed. But then Chandrakirti, seeing the situation further, he said to the mother, from me, you cannot get anything. However, from that person who lives in a small house there, maybe you can go there and you can gain something from there.
아, 그게 강고 충주디나리디다 고쇼 찍마도 요마레 디센다 구메레도 로빈 센다 구미시
Yes.
다디 니 콘자라 뼈지 요래 맞아 부구다버리 찍다 고나만다시다 가고지 요마 제가 아마디 비길레디 잠바다 딘드니다 가고지 라사 말이 상 니나야다 로벤 나와다 비피 교수상 아니 내주대 상마 쉬도
So the small house that being appointed by Chandrakirti, inside the house, the small house, is actually live a person, a great practitioner Chandragomin. But in the small house with the Chandragomin, what exists there is none other just one book, one text, Dharma text. Other than one Dharma text, there is nothing there. The house is empty. So the mother seeing the situation, he feels the same. She feels the same. She will not be able to gain anything. But she still went to Chandragomin because Chandrakirti pointed that she could go to Chandragomin.
다가랑 로벤 센터 고메기 다가랑 로벤 나와다 라고리 순도마 가 그지트야 메시 어디 순도
Yes. So the mother still tells the story, the difficulty that she faced to Chandragomin. After hearing the story, Chandragomin replied back to the mother, "Oh, for me, I also have the same situation. I have nothing to offer to you."
아까 되게 아마디기다 로벤 센터 고메 되는 쉬고지 무이도 와야
Yes. So what happens after that, because the mother already repeated the story and going from one place to another, so in front of Chandragomin, the mother finally broke down and cried in front of Chandragomin.
로벤 센터 고메 쉬고지 투존이 로벤 센터 고메 휴시 되는 디지도 디브리 이 감바르 단다 드메 감바르 지도 아니 와델라 소아답제다 아니 아마든르게 페이지 강에 태유지 아니 베말라 레와든르 잡송스 니나야 네 레와드 투투마송스 꾸지 아니 저랑이 디지 나로 지시야 소아답도 지주드마 다 지주드마를 소아답인데 지주드마 오늘 미코를 줘버려 당부디다 감바르로 지주드메 견자여러 그리야상스 상마 소티제 로벤 센터 보면 남제 그다지 아마델라 트쇼스 이전에다 지주드메 견자도서들 견자 다가마가 말와 다변 공청으로 상마 아마라 트레니 다디네 아마디 보면 나마다야다 상마 드스다야 상마디 중벌 그래서 디 가르테 버렸으나 수수 주노로 거기에나 지주드마라 사와타이나 연구열에서야디 쿵두스
So it happens that at that place, the small place that Acharya Chandragomin stay, there is one picture of Tara. So when the mother broke down and cried, and Chandragomin feels very sad also, and Chandragomin saw the photo of the Tara, and towards the Tara, Chandragomin generate faith and then address supplication, and within his mind he thinks that this mother who puts hope towards him, but she cannot offer anything back to the mother. So Chandragomin pray to Tara and make a request. And then after that, what happens is that the Tara became alive. The Tara, which is a picture, becomes alive, a real Tara. And for Tara, we know Taras with the complete form is with jewelries and ornaments. So the living Tara then in turn take out the ornaments and present it to Chandragomin. All the jewelries and ornaments to be given to Chandragomin, and Chandragomin receive it, and from there Chandragomin offer to the mother. As for the jewelries, we know that the ornaments possessed by the Tara is very eloquent, is very high value. And from this, the mother eventually can have the dowry to give to the daughter. And from this story, emphasizes on the power of supplicating to Tara. Someone who wishes to have a material possession, she or he could pray to Tara, to supplicate to Tara, and Tara can grant the wish.
제가 지주드마데 노르길 하리스야 디리 좀제 노르 lumjo거나 고란 용거를 제가 노르길 하양가 그래.
Yes. So for this reason, Tara also has a title saying that Tara is none other than the goddess of material possession, the goddess of wealth. Tara has this title, she is the goddess of wealth.
나 대상도 맞아 지주드마데 세일 하양을 해서 그래. 세라. 세라인비 중진되냐 세림부 고에나야 지주드마라 소와타비나 세림도야. 아니야. 뭔지 모르기도.
Other than that, Tara, furthermore, is also the deity for long life. So anyone who wishes to have a long life, the person can also supplicate to Tara. And of course, there is a history and story to back this, the power of Tara as being a Tara of long life. Anyone who wishes to have long life can supplicate Tara in order to have a long life.
지주 드마데 세일 하이미 경제 가래스나 루규디 슈비나로 지다 마마다 기시 제바와시 중그레스 기시 가담이 기시를 기시 제바와시야디 거랑 마마 충중갑라다 거랑 제 로벌롬년 나거로 왔다 롭존난 거로 롭존난 뒤잡아 파페 추페다 등산하시 사제 찍래 휴고요 말어 메마도 저답에 사제 파페 추페 어떤 려갑라야다 안에 nenjor 바지 투브레스 nenjo가 세그러 안에 배낭 말아주 무이신 세긴다 버려지 계속 무이신 세긴다 버려 저랑 마오발라에 데데데 융그레스니 어떤 nenjor 바지 투도 이게 라그리다 버려대 라베 리모델다 계란 안에 최지야를 깨워 상부도스 레시부도스 최지야 때문에 야부즈 이나야 계란 미지디 통동시부를 로숨만다 되게 말했어 로숨기 제일 계란 시그레스 들려송도
So the reason for supplicating to Tara for long life, there is one particular story related to this, because there is one Kadampa Geshe, which is called Geshe Drepawa. So Geshe Drepawa, at the time when he was young, of course he has to study. He studied to become a Geshe. When he was young, the condition is that more or less like nowadays, when one is not staying put in one location, the person going back and forth to many other locations. So this happens with Geshe Drepawa. He has to move around. He cannot stay put in one location. He's going back and forth to many other locations. And one particular time and one particular location, this Geshe Drepawa, at the time when he was young, he met a certain yogi who can tell prediction, tell prediction. And this yogi who can give prediction saw the hands, the palms of the hand of Geshe Drepawa at the young age. And he said to Geshe Drepawa, by this hand that you have in you, you have a very good life to practice the Dharma. However, you have a short life. You only have from now 3 years to live.
디 숭두산바다 계시 제바와데 다 뭐네 로숨마도 돼야 매비는다가 양자를 롭종 제비나다 뭐네 셔라게 디요 말스 펜도 다 딜레 안을 롭종 제사바데 냠네 제다 간다 로숨기 나로래야 다베제 냠네 야보지 지구레스 다 덴데 냠네 야보지 제와라 라마 야보지 고그레스 코란 어도제 라마지 제가로도
So when he received this kind of prediction saying that he has only 3 years to live, then Geshe Drepawa at that time thinks to himself, so 3 years actually is not a long time. It's relatively short. In 3 years' time, in terms of study, it's relatively not much can be gained from 3 years study time in terms of the benefit. So Geshe Drepawa thinks to himself, if only 3 years that he got, then he decided it's better to do the practice. Whatever study that he has gained, he put it into practice for the next 3 full years. But then he thinks to himself, in order to be able to practice properly, he will need a spiritual guide, a spiritual master, a lama. So Geshe Drepawa decided to search for a master.
제사 뒤주디 로숨마도 매임바 손상 다 로숨기 나로라야 다 냠네 야고지 얘네 람든 야고 남게 기위신이 야고지 고바 손상 대 제가도도 라마 맹아바세 가자 메나바세 진제리다 라마디기 민라야 라마 메나바세도 어디 제브리
Yes. So Geshe Drepawa made up his mind that he will do practice within the course of 3 years. He will do practice, he put effort into the practice. And for a good practice, he will need a spiritual guide, someone who can be the mentor or the master. And finally, he found himself a master which is called Geshe Lama Menakpa.
제가 라마 맨나과 시야디 제디 잠바 계시 제바오에다 코랑 내주디야 슈도와 내주바 된데 지금 미스디로 숨레 민두세디로 숨수시야디 상마야 슈도와 이 슈디 잠바다 라마 맨나베다 계란 셈데지고 말이스 계란 산예지 고마 토비야 잔주 두비야라 빠제메바디 탑디 나라 유스 이수머리
Yes. So when he met with this Lama Menapa, Geshe Jebawa tells the story, the complete story to Lama Menapa, saying that there is one particular yogi who gives the prediction he has only 3 years to live. And this all he offered the story to Lama Menapa. Lama Menapa, in turn, hearing the story, he said, please do not worry, do not be sad, because the obstacles to gain Buddhahood that you have within you, I have the method for it. I have the method to overcome your obstacle.
Lama Menapa Jene, that Lama Menabe Karina Yoresena, Chizu to me to Tabda, Tamato, the Tamanango.
So Lama Menapa, when he asserted that he has the method to overcome the obstacle for Geshe Jebawa, so what exactly is the method? The method is none other related to Tara. The Tara is the deity, the sadhana, and the dharma of the Tara.
What did Naneta, Geshe Jebawa, Takara, that Beji Chizudroma, Rutabda, Tamato, the Sama, Nang Sabayimbasunda, that the Yamledi Nani. The what you Jeleya and the Chiduma shares for yesterday.
Share, So the Geshe Jebawa, after receiving the method from Lama Menapa, being the sadhana and then the dharma instruction based on the Tara practice, he put himself into the Tara practice completely. And for the course of the next, in the course of 11 months, 11 months after he practiced Tara wholeheartedly, Geshe Jebawa could have the vision, could see Tara herself.
That Juduma shares in it, that Juduma Jera, that Juduma Karisum Resina, and Kera, Lord Tuchu Nanda Mes, Lord Tuchu Tegeres, the Judumi, the Lundinando.
So Geshe Jebawa, after having the vision of meeting the Tara herself, what does Tara say to Geshe Jebawa? Tara said to him, please don't worry, you have 16 years to live.
That Lord Tuchu Doi Jela, I am Yaria Soatari. Aya Chizuduma, that Chizuduma Maranzo Mida Mina, she passed on Jego, that Gishi Jebawa. 제단야 소아다 윤주장마다 지주점에 안에 계란이 네 꾸지 현바이나 자부지 현바이나 안에 계란 로 죽지 되그래 죽지나 주내지 되그래 숨어다.
So Geshe Jebawa managed to live for another 16 years. Then after the 16 years come to an end, then again Geshe Jebawa need to supplicate again. So Geshe Jebawa actually could meet Tara herself in the form of resembling a human. So he could meet the Tara in the form more or less resembling human. He could offer supplication to Tara. And by that time, at the end of the 16 years that he has to live, then Tara said to him, if you could make a statue of Tara, it would be very good. And Geshe Jebawa, if you could make a statue of Tara, then you have another 10 to 11 years to live.
What the and Jizudumi, the Sumne, that Geshe Jebawa, Jizudumi, Kukari Shangores, Dusamba, and a Tangaji Shangores.
Yes. So Geshe Jebawa, after receiving the guidance of making a Tara statue in order to live, then he decided to do so. And he comes up with a cloth painting, or what is called Tanga. He managed to produce a Tara Tanga.
Atagarani, Yangarada, Lodi Soyum, the Yangare, so Tabdua. That is the Yangari near Kujishans. The Kudi Garsena, Tagiti Tangaro, Jamadi Diri, Mazuti Kud. 不多多会去想一些
Yes,
我的
yes. So after producing the Tara Tangka based on the merit, the Geshe Depawa managed to live for another 10 to 11 years. So by the end of this 10 to 11 years, again, he needs to supplicate to Tara. At that time, same, he need to make a representation of Tara. And this time, Geshe Depawa managed to produce a statue of Tara.
다가 제래서 로 잡주네 질래서
Jatu. Those,
잡주네 답이 쭉쭉간에 쭉쭉 그래서 쭉쭉 소리 니로서 다디네 양자리서 왔다 그랬다 지난 공로 첨부 차사로 인해서 왔다디 다양양이 굳이 상고에나 다 결한 로 망고 대비 유에서 디마다 수용말 로 망고시야디 가상하시 니 제르다 로 망고 지고로 이 손에 아니 고랑 양자를 굳이 상고레스 타마타마데 계시 제바와디 공로가지 슈위르스나 고추 공가 슈위르스
Yes. So up to the time when he produced the statue, he managed to live to how many years? From all the total counting, he managed to live at that time until the age of 80. So from original 60, so another 10, then another 10, he managed to live at the age of 80. By the time he reached the age of 80, Geshe Depawa again thinks he need to supplicate to Tara. And by that time, Tara still give the guidance to Geshe Depawa. This time, Tara said to Geshe Depawa, you can live many, many years. She doesn't specify how long, of how many years. She only said to Geshe Depawa, you can live many years. And then from that, Geshe Depawa also do the practice of producing a Tara statue. And from that, he gained the merit. And eventually, how long that Geshe Depawa could live? Eventually, he lived up to the age of 95.
다 제자다 지주드마디 노르길 하임바 두소 아니 세 하임바 두소 아 시랍길 하양 레서 봐
Yes.
다 말한서 리과야 보면 지 롭종제네 야고 마신 된되지 이미나 야 지주드마라야 소아다비나 냐마라서 리과야 도도야다 다디 요레스제네다 지주드네 그탑디나도
Yes. So by here, we have seen that Tara is none other than the goddess of wealth. She is also the goddess of long life. And there is one particular trait about Tara is that Tara is also the goddess of wisdom. So wisdom is a very important quality. So someone who need to study or to learn something, a subject, a particular subject, she will need wisdom for it, the intelligence to do it. And for this, we can have it by supplicating to Tara. So by supplicating the Tara, then we do the Tara practice, the sadhana and the practice instruction based on Tara practice. We can gain intelligence and wisdom.
나 지주드마디 틀레길 하양 레서 송거로
Yes.
틀레길 하임바디 답이 슈바나 시레다 촉주 산제 탐제기 틀레 상마바 직도 뒤니 나 지주드마 차버와 다간다 어디 틀레길 하양 레서
So apart from being a goddess of wealth, the goddess of long life, the goddess of wisdom, Tara herself is actually the goddess of Buddha's activity, enlightened activity. So the fact that she is the enlightened activity, of the goddess of enlightened activity, we saw it when the Buddhas of all 10 directions, when all Buddha's activities combined into one, and one manifested in the form of Tara. So Tara is none other than the goddess of enlightened activity.
제산다 지주드마라야 소아다비나 유노 롱제고나야 용거레 자왈람도 도고네 지주드마라 소아담나 용거레스 보다 보면 그거에는 용거레스 객 파체 탐제 파매 그거에다 지주드마라야 소아담나 용거레스 예수로
So by this, we should be able to see and understand by supplicating to Tara, we can gain any material possession that we wish to have. We can be successful in any kinds of endeavors and activities that we are about to undergo. We could get the son or the daughter that we wish to have, and we could overcome obstacles, any obstacles that is within ourselves. We could overcome them by practicing Tara, by supplicating to Tara.
다 디임바디 거와요레스디 삼바 하말하고 있어야죠다. 하말하고 있어야지. 단다 드메 두답디나 여러 드메 두다스 말에단다. 지다 단다 말아줘 드마 드마 거체도 드마 거체스야 디나래 여래 하말하고 있어야지. 어디나라 가려요레스디 삼바 안에 디어리 부티반네 부도 주시에스 노르테반네 너는 니도세 안에 되어봐 탐제 토바 줄라 예남매지 수순 정규르치 있어. 나도 때문에 디나 야마르 내 때문에 지다 때 나한테 갈사는 부티변네 부토 규르시에서 부더그 여기에는 부용거래 해서 주저들 말아서 하다비는 어디리 노르테변네 너는 니도세 노르 롱주 되고에는 주저들 말아서 하다비는 용거래 해서 돼 디쿵디리 되어봐 탐제 토바 줄라서 수수 되되 가래 여기에는 어디 주저들 말아서 하다나 용거래 해서 예남매지 수순 정교리지 개왕 빠르체 탐제배 매버 차고나야 지지도 말아서 왔다나 용거리 해야 되리.
So when we say that when we supplicate to Tara, we could gain the material possession, the success of activity, the son and daughter, and overcoming obstacles. How do we state this? Because it's within the Tara practice itself, on the Tara prayers or the Tara practice, the prayers or the practice that we recited or do or meditate on. This is the verse. The meaning of the verse is that anybody who wishes to have a son or daughter, the son or daughter will come to him. Anybody who wishes a material possession, Tara said the material possession will be granted to him. Anyone who has anything that he wishes to do, then it could be achieved successfully, Tara will grant it to him. Then any obstacles or hindrances that need to be overcome, Tara can dispel all those obstacles. This is part of the Tara prayers or the Tara practice. Is within that, then we can state this for sure.
대대인 바순라다 대답이 지지들 맛에 쌓아친고 뭐네 이답일 하들라야 니요레서 버리 안에 당등기 지지들 맛에야 지다 내등기 지지들 맛에 지지들 맛 니셔 버리 당등기 지지들 맛에야 돼 지지들 맛 뭐네 많이 봐 배나 말한테 탕가다 군다들도가 지지들 꾸들로 열어 이 지지들 맛 뭐네 말아 지다 지지 좀 원에다 원에 많이 받아버리지래다 지기 캔자리 차고도 원에지 그런다 다가라래다 원에다 원에 많이 받아버리 이나 말아도 남 일랍디로 당등기 지지 좀마다 내등기 지지 좀 하시고
So in this way we can see Tara is a very important deity. She is a very important Yidam, is a very important deity, and for the Tara as a deity we can see her in two different reality or two different aspects. The first one, what is called a relative aspect. The second one is what is called the ultimate aspect of Tara.
다시 주르마 원에데 가르세나 다 자와 탐제기 캠베윤데 산제 탐제기로 산제 탐제기 캠베윤데요. 캠베윤데 세외윤데 닝지다 세와 닝지세로 디윤데 안에 뉴비윤데 세야데 틀레 심지 탐제 안에 베지 되데 탐제 두야 게게 탐제 바세야가 뉴바 어디 봐 상마 도제 추다 오만데 바나 히바 도제 세제지 여러 어디 지주 도망원에 디리스거
So we could see Tara based on the two aspects. The first one is the relative aspect. This is quote unquote is saying that this is not the real Tara. What is the form? For example, the Tara that we see in the form of the tanka and the picture, etc. This is the relative aspect of Tara. Then there is another ultimate aspect of Tara, which can see quote unquote the real Tara. And who is the real Tara? The real Tara is none other than the qualities of all the Buddhas, the qualities of omniscience of all the Buddhas, and the qualities of the love and compassion, the great love and the great compassion of all the Buddhas, and the qualities of the power in order to achieve everything that it needs to be achieved to bring benefit for all sentient beings, that is within in the minds of all the Buddhas. All of this combined into one, like milk cannot be differentiated from the water. They mix into one. This is the aspect of the real Tara. is the omniscience of all the Buddhas, the great love and great compassion of all the Buddhas, the powers of all the Buddhas. This all mixture like milk and water. This is the real Tara.
그래서 뭐디 여와 탐지기 캐베연데 대외연데 뉴베연데 임발라 남바데 단단 알아도 지지도 뭐 지금 알아도 방가다 들리지 해줘로 어디 시작되고 저랬어.
So the nature of the real Tara is all the Buddha's omniscience, all the Buddha's great love and great compassion, all the Buddha's power, all mixed together, inseparable, like the analogy of water and milk. This is the nature, the real nature. As for the appearance is the one that we see in the form of the Tara that we see either on Thangka, either on statue. These are the manifested aspect.
제가 말아도 지주 드마데다 안에 세하러 제단다 심지 세통화 남라야 세 무두 나야게 셔도 지주 드마 들어가서야 되죠 말이 제단 지주 드마 거랑 원내데 제단 지주 드마 전장리로 드마 장구디로 델라 파트니다 지주 드마 니슈삭시스는 니슈장이 디중거라 그래서 다 지주 드마 세디 제번에 심지 세통화디 세링부 파디지야게 체도 들어가기 남바 때문에 지주 드마 카르베 남바 때문에
So as for the Tara herself, we said that she is none other than the goddess of long life. What is meant by long life? Because sentient beings who have obstacles in the period of the life, the duration of life, meaning that there's a shortening, there are obstacles shortening their life. So for shortening the life, there needs to be longer, to prolong. To have a long life, meaning to prolong the shortening obstacle. And for this purpose, towards sentient beings, that Tara takes the manifestation in the form of white Tara. So Tara herself, the original one, he has 21 different aspects, 21 Taras. And for the long life, she is the white Tara.
지다 지주 드마 거란 장구지 여러 나디 주시리 주비 시디리 주버디다 안에 니슈작지로 다 상마 집어래서 그래 이나양 거란 주인이 도주 중으로 인교 상마 집어래 지주 드마 집어러 어디 다 드마 니슈작지 세지도와 드마 니슈작지디 삼삼 안에 드마 니슈다 거란 집이 니슈작지 여래 삼삼 거라지는 그냥 니슈장이 예배되어 돼 개발해요 말씀을.
So for the Tara, the original, the main figure of the Tara is green Tara. So from green Tara being the base main figure, then from this one green Tara, the main figure can take the manifestation in the form of 21 Taras. So 21 aspect or 21 manifestation. Between one and the other, all of them is the same. Among all the 21 Taras, they have all the same nature. Why we comes to the 21, we have see there are two different interpretations. So from the main figure is 1, then she manifested another 20 to come to the number 21. But sometimes also from the main figure, there comes another 21 aspect, so making total 22. So between 21 and 22 is not much difference, but this is two ways we could see Tara in the manifestation from the original, which is green Tara.
다 지주들 마디 다 심진 안에 시위 민두와 남라 안에 변된하면 남바때 버려서 그냥 알아서 시와서나 때 계제 야보제 남나 년기 맵지 여러 어두솔라야 돼 변된하면 돼 잡고 남바때 버려서 시위만 뒤봐
Candice yang gersunggegenna.
시위만 뒤와서나 변한 알아서 미도세나 계지년보제 야보제 신의 권년가 말아 아콜 잡고 제비나 그 부굴이 지구에나 가리나 전에 년기지 여러 이라고데 갈아다디 말라디 천자 찬도 그리만도 제가 전다 봤을때 뒤라고래다 시와세저로 시위 만디와 될라 지주 좀도 시와들이 남바 시위 남바 된다라 pendel hamade trapwe number tero shiwe mandiwa tela trapwe number tena ana panduya
Yes.
dirin.
There is one further qualities of the Tara in order to work for all sentient beings. In particular, when sentient beings cannot be tamed using peaceful way. When sentient beings cannot be tamed using peaceful activities. So a simple example for this, when a certain being, when a certain person, when we try to give advice to the person will not listen. So when we give good advice, good words, still the person cannot listen due to the obstacles. So this person is said cannot be tamed using peaceful activities. And for this, Tara has a way. Tara can also manifest herself in the form of a wrathful aspect, a wrathful form. For example, we know there is a deity which is called Pandin Lamo. This is one example when Tara can manifest in order to benefit sentient beings in the wrathful aspect.
Tara senanda pendel hamasena chibu chiyane chibore bi chigi da trapo segro ngajibe chigi shiwe number de chigi trapwe number te ma samre ma do ane inju chibore.
Yes. So by now we have seen there is a manifested form of Tara which is called Pandin Lamo. And as for Pandin Lamo and Tara, absolutely there is no difference. They are the same. Tara is Pandin Lamo is Tara. The difference is that Tara is the peaceful aspect. Pandin Lamo is the wrathful aspect.
Aduce. Ine da sherab chua namla ane sherab kewe chedo hamayangji me namate baris. Hamayangji ma se jori. Hamayangji ma se de sherab ji hare yeso da inju di chizu de mare di.
Yes.
Hamayangji ma se de di do ramni gare.
Music di tang do.
Music dune tan dune keju ji gare.
Yes.
Odi hamayangji ma se.
Yes.
Odi inju chizu de mare. Da de sherab ji hai namate da kandal hamayangji sherab chua do so. 나도 리포 체라메 줘도서 리포야 야고야 체도 안에 하마양지면 남바테 버리스 하마양지마데야 지주도 말이다.
Yes. As for the aspect of the Tara, this also can take form in order to benefit sentient beings who have lesser intelligence. So for those who have lesser intelligence, he will need to upgrade or increase the intelligence. And for this, Tara can manifest in the form of Saraswati. So Tara Tara can take in Saraswati. So the Saraswati and Tara is not different; they are the same. So when someone needs to improve his intelligence, his wisdom, he would need to rely on a certain deity, and the deity is called Saraswati, a form of deity. When he holds a musical instrument, the name is Saraswati. So Saraswati and Tara is also the same.
Wang chua namla wang mudu zui chedo hamari jima se jnya hamari jima se jnya hamaji yor. Tadi inju chizu de mari. Di kare chedo hamari jibe namba tebore sidi samba wang chungju jira. Pena ngaranzo mi ida da ke kuatan. Wadi dabudi la ya wang dia chabuyu ya. Pen wadi chedo nya hamari jibe namba tebore.
So hamari jima mean the Arabic and the Sanskrit chick.
Odi meshimazo kandar hamari jima se jira ta hamaji gri. Odi digre hamari jima option divided.
So in order to help sentient beings, in particular those who have small power. So small power, then this person need to upgrade to increase the intensity of the power in order to bring benefits or to do activities. And for this, sentient beings can rely upon a manifestation of Tara. I don't have the Sanskrit now. It's called Plamo. She is also none other than Tara herself for increasing the power.
Dosere. Jizu Masiya di Chidan Koran Lugu Mabuyo Bechuredwa. Chidan Juju Mata Ane di Endel Harmony Chibari. Ane Chig Shiwi Nambate, Chig Tabu Nambate Sejera. Dinasing Arado Tira Namni. Roji Jiji da Ane 만주시리니 버디라
Yes.
주주로 가서디 주준 잠배인 직벌에서 주준 잠배인한테 시위나 받대 버리 도지 지지디 잡외나 받대 버리면도 그냥 어찌 버리 주지 버리 디낭시리
Yes. So by this we have seen the history of Tara and then the different aspects of Tara, and in particular we have seen the peaceful aspect of Tara and then the rightful aspect of Tara. This is something is very easy to understand, relatively to understand. This is quite common. Why? For example, we can also say compare with what is well known as Yamantaka or Vajrabhairava, and to be compared with Manjusri. So Yamantaka and Manjusri actually the same. Only difference is that Yamantaka is the rightful aspect, Manjusri is the peaceful aspect.
다 지수 드마디 다 규버를 지어라 다 지수 드미 규버를 당부 별이야 당부 냠에 조를 못치니 다 규버디 정도와 아 냠에 조를 못치게 안에 domdembalana 다 domdembe 안에 보도와라나 보도와에 안에 샤라와나 어두지 규버디 다 말하지 진지사회 남에 바르다 균 마치바다 도중되라.
Yes. As for the Tara herself being a practice and a deity, of course, she has the lineage. And for the lineage, the Tara lineage is originated from none other than Lord Atisa himself, Guru Atisa. And from Guru Atisa, the lineage of Tara comes down to the disciple, Dromtompa. And from Dromtompa comes down to the disciple, which is Potowa. And from Potowa, the lineage of Tara comes down to Sharawa, and all the ways down from one master to the other, from one master to disciple and to the others, up down to our own spiritual masters.
주제가 되버들이 주주 주지대 제거버들이
Danda, Jujiran Cheka. What until what time?
주지버들이 주지
Oh, the break time. Yeah. Tangbo di parceng di cucu-cucunya cucik nih, cucik dan kamu conga bardo.
남녀 발생 해봐야 돼.
Yeah.
주진이대 발생이도 발생 뒤지 몇 살이다.
Parceng dulu tu cari.
아까 제바들이 지다.
Tanda di cucu-cucunya bardo.
주주 중립받으려 뭐야 뭐야.
Yeah.
발생 그거 이게 말해.
Re,
이 발생 요 말에 삼변수다.
re.
그거에 나면은 그거는 편해지 그래. 뭐는 안 못이 마시고.
Yeah. So Gisela, from Gisela, he doesn't plan a break time. So she asking now, do you need a break time?
뭐는 그래야 돼. 먹어서 거? 가오세. 어디래? 아, 규버들의 중에서. 나 말하자 지주들이 규시야지라. 규시야디다 텍스트라고 그러. 지주들이 규디다 나던 저거가 손사 나가 나라야 규디 시시야지라. 규디 시나니 자 규시야디. 기리야스래. 어디래? 지주들이 규디들이.
So regarding the Tara practice, this is actually the Tara practice regarding the tantric practice. And for the Tara as the tantric practice, we could refer to the tantric references, the tantric text itself, and the tantric class. And for the tantric class, we know there are 4 different tantric class and 4 different classes of Tara tantric practice. And for the Tara itself, among the 4, Tara is considered to belong to the class which is called the Kriya Tantra.
대대인바 손자 지주 드마 코라에다 자주길 하리스.
So because this practice belong to the Kriya Tantra, so we could say that Tara is the deity of Kriya Tantra.
아, 단다 지주 드메 되바 니식시야 저라. 맞으나미 마부 동거로 지주 드메 되바 니식 마세디. 자자원은 이슈자지세 동거도 어도저 정말 자주리.
So for the practice of Tara, for example, one particular well-known phrase or prayer is the 21 praises to Tara, the one that we normally or frequently recite. And all these 21 praises addressed to the 21 different deity, these all 21 deities belong to the Kriya Tantra, that is a Kriya Tantra deity.
Dendé ba tsonsa da chi dweme chi nang ine re ane dwejo da dara puja ine re ngara zo karse tengo kudo wa shada dwe sama go ba karse tengo ya kare su ti samba cha gyu gi ti inzari.
So regarding the practice of Tara, be it related to what is called a Janang or permission, or be it related to a puja or Dharma puja or Tara puja, these all belong to the Kriya practice. And for the Kriya practice, it must be a wide practice, meaning it does not involve substances like meat and etc.
Da ngara zo 주주 드메 때바 니칭마지기도와 니슈착지시야티 제단 데모네 숭비디 산제 넘버 낭제레스 버다.
So when we recite the prayer which is called the 21 praises to Tara, what is the origin of this praise is none other from the Buddha themselves.
예zam도 마찬가지로 따리 두다리 둘이 소화 세지와 어디 숭비디 안에 산제 넘버 낭제레스 이나야다 안에 치수 산제 좀 내되기 규나라 내마 산제 넘버 되게 숭샤바디 다가랑 고랑 규날만 숭샤르만도 인주디 소화보문에디 산제 넘버 제리스
Sangya number nangje di
어려잖아로
Vairocana. So the 21 praises to Tara originated from the Vairocana Buddha, but then we know it based from the Buddha. And the same with the mantra, Om Tare Tu Resoha, the origin, the speech comes from the Buddha Vairocana, but then of course that involves that the current Buddha, the Buddha the same, but it can be referred, traced back to Buddha Vairocana, the one who just say the 21 praises and they give the Tara mantra.
어딘데지리다 어두 쉬그체로 안에 디네 마라즈다 아드메 송아데 당보로 마라즈 하다 하메 주변이 샤지 빼만라도데 풍보군라 되죠마 얼마용라 차체로 세지도가 어디다 추주기 흉세나이 다도 다 차체기 흉 아니 어디 당보 마라즈 드메 송아 사두삼바 당보 어디 되나 야고 요리에서로
So for the Tara practice, there is one particular important practice that we could do, which is the recitation of mantra, recitation of Tara mantra. And how to go about the recitation of the Tara mantra, the way we would like to do the Tara practice, is by reciting the Tara mantra. And in order to recite the mantra, there is one verse that we could recite first prior to the mantra, which is if you refer to the text that you have here in this book, Recitation for Daily Practice, referring to the page 140, when it says Ladang Namin Shapenje. Sorry, this is not. Counted. I revise is page 165. So the one I'm referring is usually is Ladang Lamin, but this not 140, is 165. If you found it, 165, page 165. included in the 7 limb prayer to Tara, the first verse and being homage, when it says Ladang Lamin Chobenki, Samnipemo Latune, and etc. O Tara, I bow before you, liberator from all who want. So before we recite the Tara, we could recite this one verse prior to the mantra.
제자 하단 함이 주빈지 샤게 빼마 라튜네스 다티 된다데 가르스도 참 달하이나를 하마인바이나를 달라 미단 또저 창매 다 주빈기지 주빈시야데 고여간 조디로 주빈 우진을 들어
네.
어디나신 나라저다 지주저마들 하단 미남기 답에지 조르지레서로
Yes.
먼저 차세위 유조 어디기 안에 샵기 빼몰라 아는 알아주 류다 나다 예숨기 안에 위배 뛰네서로 사다 삼미 주변이 샵기 빼몰라 뛰네서 들이
So Ladang Lamin Chobenki, this one verse, and Shamni Pemola Tune, the meaning of Ladang Lamin Chobenki actually on the third line, Ladang Lamin Chobenki, whom the devas and non-devas honor by touching their crowns. So this one verse meaning both to either gods or non-gods, or referring to the non-devas, both gods and non-gods also pay respect to Tara. They pay respect to Tara by touching their crowns to the feet of the Tara. Who is Tara? Shamnipemo Latune. So the meaning of the first 2 lines of the Tibetan lines correspond to the 3rd and the 4th line of the English line, whom the devas and non-devas honor by touching their crowns to the lotuses under your feet. This is the way to address to Tara, the first part.
봄보 꿀래 전세베 세저라다 봄보 꿀래 전세베 봄바데라 안에 교노 롱죄지 봄바 내 나자라 소베 봄바 봄보만 보지라다 봄보 꿀래 저르세베 안에 지주 드라마라야 개요 지주 드라마라야 안에 차세로 시데리.
Yes. So the 3rd and the 4th line, Pompakune Drojema, Dramayuma Chaselo, the 3rd of the Tibetan line, Pompakune Drojema, the meaning is liberator from all suffering. So whatever suffering that we experience, a liberator from all sufferings is referring to the Tara. And Dramayum Lacha Chelo, the 4th of the Tibetan line, correspond to the 1st of the English line, O Tara, I bow before you.
다 대답이 지지 드라마스 드라마 드라마 юм라 차세로스 디소로 드라마 юм세의 아메 되라 아래에서도 자만 말아서 아마디기 아메 랑기 주구체도 주구 동에서야다 강에 탐제 봤어야 돼 가두인을 내게지 지고로 왔다 아메 어디 나시 지지 드라마디기 심진남다 코에 동에야 세야게 답에 뒤다 남바군도다 아니 심지어는 코에 동일래 야 저와지고요리 대찬에 아니 용세며 그래서.
So these are one verse of homage to Tara on the 4th line, Dharma Yumla Chachelo. The meaning is, O Tara, I bowed before you. So Dharma Yumla, Dharma is Tara. There is one word which is Yum. This is referring to Tara like a mother. So why Tara is being related to a mother figure? Because a mother figure, if you know a mother always takes care of the children. They take care of the children, the difficulty and suffering, and she would like to help the children in overcoming their suffering. So in the same way, Tara is like a mother to all sentient beings in order to liberate sentient beings from the suffering of secret existence. That's why in the 4th line, Dharma Yumla, Yum referring to mother.
알하다 함이 주변이 시작이 빼만 라더니 봉복군을 던져도 드라마 юм라 차세로 싫어 아니 달에 두 달에 둘이 소화 세다두 사주래.
So first we recite this one verse Ladang Lamin Chubingi, Samupemola Tuni, Ombakune Drozema, Toma Yumla Chaselo, page 165. The meanings as being explained just now. After reciting this one verse, then the next step is to recite the mantra Om Tari Turi Soa.
Tari turi soa siya di laya. Ane drume sungaro wa. Ta drume tyoba yari. Ta drume tyoba segere, drume sunga segere. Dela yigi chuba se, yigi chu yori ta. Tari turi soha se, yigi chu yori.
So this mantra, which is called the Tara mantra, actually it can also function as praise to Tara. So Om Tari Turi Soa is the Tara mantra, is also the Tara praise. And for this particular mantra, it is called, usually addressed to be called as the 10-syllable mantra. If someone says say 10-syllable mantra, this must refer to the Tara mantra, because if you count Om Tare Tu Re Soha is exactly 10 syllable. So it's 10-syllable mantra.
Ta chi zu drume tyoba dela ya genri du sumi yori sori. Yeba chikchi, driwa chikchi, duba chikchi sumi yori sori. Chi zu drume tyoba lo.
Yes. As for the praise to Tara, this could be conducted. The practice of praising the Tara can be divided into 3 types. The one with an elaborate praise, the middle length praise, and the shortened version of praise to Tara.
Tanda chi zu drume tyoba yeba de namyung aranzo tyonyagi chanze wani nishu sakchi se druma nirchima se jirawa wadi chi zu drume tyoba yeba diri sori.
Yes. As for the elaborate or the long version of the praise to Tara, is referring to the usual praise of Tara that we address to Tara on page 170 in this book that is being used. Page 170, homage to 21 Taras, when the beginning with Chasa Jamanyuma Pamo, etc. This is the long version, the elaborate version of praise.
chi zu drume tyoba driwa de kare si tu tsamba sikje nga chi yori se. Chi zu druma rangi sungju. Chi zu drume nyame chori mochile nangju chi yori.
Yes.
Di sikje nga yori. Umju zuma pomduma la cha selo. Chanda druma tari paamu. Tudare ji sema turi duna tamse terima. Sawa yigi chila rab duyu se sikje nga chi bichi. Wadi tyoba driwa diri.
Let's see. And the next one is the middle length. And the middle length praise to Tara. This comprised of 5 lines, 1 verse, 5 lines, composed by Guru Atisha. This is the middle length. The praise, the verse is recited. Om Jesuma Pamadumala Chaselo, etc. 5 lines is the middle one.
nyame jori mochile ya da chi zu drume di nango ya di gyumzi kare si di zamba kap di du zamba da rugyu da kenda kengo yori rwa ina ya kapsu paba inba songza danda di nyame jori mochi shibuji nyung rwa nyung shi chenpoji rwa naza chenpoji di jene ane chi zu drume la ya shu rwa da naza di ba gyokba chaya ge tapshe kare yori si di zamba ane chi zu drume xie singi chi zu drume ane be nima jile ya drume tsare Chini sabayana kerame nazati mab chagresi ti sunro. Tanam yungi drama nirji ti sabayana chini sa tuya yomara. Ane dendegi sa tuya ge ane beji dama jing naro na asirwa imajil chichigina chini na jiri. Yeshu di tama ane chizu drame wadi tsi ngayu judi nari. Ane nyame jori mochigi wadi sani ane kong nyushi di pa tamuro mab charo.
10 years and now 20,000 debu.
Lo bulu, chi, chu, cha, tong, chi. Lo kosong shidu da.
207. Lawson.
Lo kosong shidu.
So for the middle length of the praise to Tara, which is composed by Guru Atisa, there is a history behind this middle length praise. Most of you would have known this before, but for this context, we can see again what happens with this middle length praise, because it has to relate it to Guru Atisa, Lord Atisa himself. At one particular point, Lord Atisa has fallen sick, and the sickness is quite bad, a very bad disease of sickness. And in order to overcome this sickness, Lord Atisa pray or supplicate to Tara, and Tara in turn said that in order to overcome the sickness, in the short period of time, Guru Atisa must collect the recitation of the Tara praises, around 20,000 recitation. And at that time, because it's a very short time, it's not possible to collect such a huge number in very short period of time. This is the story behind that. So Lord Atisa supplicate to Tara in order to overcome the very bad sickness.
제상 라조 단다 um다리 두다리 둘이 소아시야디 다 지주점에 되가 뒤버디레스.
Yes. As the last one, the shortened version, the very shortest one, this is referring to the praise of the Tara with the mantra that we usually recite, Om Tare Tu Tare Turi Soha. This is the shortened one.
um다리 두다리 둘이 소아시야디 시야지라 마 시야디 된다디 가르시디 좀 지나디 내지 소야 여러 마라즈 마타비 룽아 이숨시요레 다다 마라즈 류이다 나다 이숨 마타버리 로 산지지 고반 토비오 마리 제자 마타버로 제자 마라즈 류가 이숨보디 마타비 룽아 이숨보디 다고 룽아 이숨 지주드메 안에 모르파 주야 청고에서 옴시야디 이게 숨이요.
Yes. So for Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha itself, it starts from the first syllable, which is Om. And for Om, it's actually comprised of 3 different syllables, which is A, U, and Ma. And what is the expression of A, U, and Ma? This is none other than the impure body, speech, and mind. So the one that is a body, speech, and mind of the Buddha is the pure. So right now we still have the impure body, speech, and mind that we would like to transform into the pure body, speech, and mind of the Buddhas. This is represented by the A, U, Ma, the 3 syllables that made up the first syllable Om.
예상도 마세 옴시야디 마금 곤제리스 그래. 마 간제지 이미네 걸로 옴시야디 용고거래. 옴시야디 매번 마지 이미는 마데 참아 상황을 지거리다.
Yes. Furthermore, the meaning of the Om, the first syllable, is said to be the beginning of a mantra, the head of the mantra. As for all mantra, actually Om, the function is the same, the head of the mantra. If a mantra doesn't consist of the correct syllable Om, is said to be not complete, is incomplete. So Om here function as the head, the beginning of a mantra.
대제려야 따레스야 들어. 따레스 등상난서 말하죠. 따라스려야 되디로. 따레스야 되지다 지주점에 챙겨와. 이 간데레스도 있으면 따레스야 되게 된다디. 안에 심진남 코에 동을에 죄 차네. 심진남 코에 동을에야 교아르체비 차네. 죄마세라고 그래. 제가
So the second syllable from the mantra, Tare, after Om is Tare. What is Tare? Tare here actually corresponds directly to Tara. The Tara that we usually say Tara in the mantra is Tare. And Tare here, because the Tara wants to liberate all sentient beings from samsara, which in turn in Tibetan phrase, this is called Drolma. So the Drolma is Tara, and Tara in the mantra is Tare. This is the meaning.
뚜따레 시야티로 안에 심진남다 마게다 차도라 소베 안에 지과 제레 교화를 집에 차네 죄마시라고 그러나.
And then after that there is Tutare. What is the meaning of Tutare? The function of this is that in order to overcome the pride and the jealousy of all sentient beings, that Tara Droma doing the activity in order to overcome pride and jealousy, So the manifest in the mantra is tu tare.
Turi siya digi tuanda kare siddhi samba. Simji nam da jizu dume da simji nam ne nasi tungile ya rewari chebe chane, ane drama siya, turi siya di tuanda diri.
The next is ture, and ture, what is the meaning? In order to overcome the disease or sickness of all sentient beings, then the tara in the Tibetan phrase is droma, is doing the function of to overcome all sickness of all sentient beings, and the droma in the tara in this becomes ture.
Soha siya jiro, soha siya digi tuanda di kare siddhi samba, shiwari cheba hasiwari, tuanda di. Kare shiwari cheba re siddhi, ane simji nabji ne nasa da dungi pa me barchaba. Yenge barche tamje pa me barchaba. ane simji na koe dungi tamje pa shiwari chebe chane, ane soha siya digi.
And the last verse of the mantra is Soha. And what is the meaning of Soha? The meaning of Soha is to pacify. What is to be pacified is the sickness of all sentient beings, the suffering of all sentient beings, the obstacles of all sentient beings, in whatever form of the obstacles, is to be pacified. So this is the meaning of Soha.
Shezang ranzu jizu drume sungagi reshedi da pyutsagi yinse dusri reshedi.
By this, we have seen just now the short explanation regarding the mantra of the Tara.
ranzu namnyu ane drume sunga sadu da minji minji da Lada lami chubin ji siyadi yuna yaborira. Lada lami chubin ji xiaji pema ladun pombo kuna dozanga pema yunga cha selo. Ana umdari tudari turi soha sita di sauro. Tadi chele ya yawa di nyudu da jizu drama dhubju nichin. Roa chija maliba yi sala gobar sho siyadi. Ana nga zuzi chigiwa. Chorjugu wala ya karsa. Yawa di nyudu da lama sanje lujuji, roa chi jamalu, di tuanda dabure.
Yes.
Di seda, Georgiu shulir.
The dedication verse that we usually recite, what is the page in your book, in the book? Dewa Deni Nyotoda, Lama Sangye Dugyuni, Dewa Chika Malupa. Do you know the page? Yeah, page 53. 53, Gawadini Nyotoda, Lama Sangye Dugyuni. Dene Lama Sangye Dugyuni di Jebogya.
Sebijavre, jizu drama dhurgyurji, dhurgyunira.
Okay, so by this we have seen that in order to practice the Tara recitation, mantra recitation, we start first with the paying homage, Ladang Lamin Chobengi, Shapni Pemo Latune, Pompakun Drojema, Domayuma Chaselo, page 165. The meaning is, O Tara, I bow before you, liberator from all suffering, whom the devas and non-devas honor by touching their crowns to the lotuses under your feet. This one verse we start. After that, we do the recitation of the mantra, and then to complete the practice is by reciting the dedication verse, page 53. And the dedication is Gewadini Nyotoda Lama Sangye Drugyorne. For Lama Sangye is referring to Master Buddha. We can change the word into Jejun Drolma. So Gewadini Nyotoda Jejun Drolma Drugyorne. Dawachikya Malupa di Salagopal Show. By this virtue, may I quickly attain the stature of Aryatara and then place in that state all beings without exception.
Di ngochiri, ngoichi, ngaranzo ita kewa sasabi chili ya ngoa chagura, 제자와 되게 모치리서.
So this is the last part of the verse that we recited is the dedication verse. So the first is the homage verse, and then the mantra itself, and then the dedication verse.
제자 개와 디 뉴르도 닥시로. 개와 디 뉴르도 닥시에 가르스는 다당아라서 사십에 개와지 여러와. 개와 디라 때는 교부 뒤뒤림부 많이 봐대. 교부 나라 안에 지주점에 고반 안에 배지 고바지 용어쇼 디리. 개와 디 뉴르도 닥 지주점에 두주네시로.
So this dedication verse, when I say Gewadini Nyortoda, by this virtue may I quickly attain. So from the virtue of the recitation of the mantra and the practice related to Tara, by this own virtue may I quickly, without much period of time, may I quickly attain the stature of Jejundroma. So Jejundroma, Drugyurne, by this virtue may I quickly attain the state of Tara herself. May I become the Tara herself.
로아치자 말리바 디 살라 고바르쳐서다 식세버리죠. 나란사 마이바 로아치자 말리바 로아신지 탐제 안에 지주점의 고방 안에 고바르셔스는 소리지.
So the third and the fourth line of the dedication verse, Roachikya Malupa Ti Sala Gobarjo, the meaning is and then placed in that state all means without exception. When the first two lines we wish for ourselves to achieve the state of Tara quickly, and not only ourselves, we would like all that to be happening to all sentient beings. They must also achieve the state of Tara.
지주점마디다 말아줘 이담도 때는 공도 쉬신버려 고랑 평양 간도에는 상마 kengoyarero. 지다다 지주점마디 마 년내 지주점마 마 랑내 지주점마 마 사내 지주점마시 낭시 답에 뒤다 넘버분도다 지주점마 된거야디 답에 미시게 계신 차고요래.
So by here we see the practice of Tara. Tara is can be regarded as one's yidam, a practitioner's yidam. And then we already seen the benefit of practicing Tara and the way to go about regarding the Tara as the yidam. And in order to gain the benefit is we have to integrate Tara into our daily lives. So when we wake up firstly in the morning, we think about Tara. When we are about to get up from when we are sitting, we think about Tara. When we are about to enjoy the meals, we think of Tara. At any given time, at any given moment, whatever activity we are to conduct, we think of Tara. We remember Tara.
지주점마 대야 답에 지주점마 짱바sam말 거나 찍고sam마이마 라게 사회 라마당 뭐 예르면이 삼상스레다 되는지 공고고요래. 생고고요.
So how are we to remember Tara? The way to remember Tara is not by Tara herself. We have to remember or recollect, be mindful of Tara, which is none other the nature to be same exactly with the spiritual master, the root master. So when we are remembering the Tara, she is none other than the root master herself.
지주점마대야다 세보 마보 뭐 장굴라서 망보지도와 다들 가르쳐 주자면 뒤에 수수 칸다며 봐. 미가시 지주 저하될 때에서냐 셈다니어요. 가시 장구될 안에 셈다니어요. 제가 넘버 드라마다 되야디 조디 심징이 된도 두지 넘버 된다고 지로 제가 수수 가와라 가와도 저가라 가와도 저마 된장라 가와도 가와 디제비네 다가라 지 수수 셈다니어요 지로 어디 다가라 보면 인조 참마 지주를 맞지고로.
So as for Tara herself, by now maybe you observe that there could be a yellow Tara, there could be a red Tara, there could be a blue Tara, there could be a green Tara. Why is that so many different aspects with different colors? This is to suit with the needs of all sentient beings. So for those who can feel a special connection, to feel closer to the Tara in the form of white Tara, then the Tara can take in the form of white Tara for the person. And for those why there is so much different aspect, it is solely the purpose is to suit with the the tendency of sentient beings. And based on the tendency of sentient beings, they could happen. Certain practitioners feel a closer, a stronger connection to a certain aspect. Anyhow, they are all the same. Regarding the nature is the same, whatever the colors that suit the purpose to be closer to sentient being, they are still the same Tara.
다 대답이 지수 드라마디 다기 슈바나 신리다 지당 남윤의 냠래 다가란 남고 여비에는 다 쉬야세요 말이로 그 다가란은 되거든요 기시 냠아도 되게 지기 중에 주시라며 봐 시라 하모고 봐 되게 임바다 야 단다 짜도냐 지 하고 봐 그냥 마음 발라야 지 지수 드라마디 때 수수 이담도 때네 냠슬랭 게 인사be 되게 안에 공부들도 여비에나 다기 슈바나 신다 배지 안에 뒤다 남버군데 전거야 돼 당고 전거 그래 면 인지 민지 전투가 이면은 그 갈래 제제 셈다니고 지 차야요 그런 데 취니리다 그래 차샤이나 말아서 미지 이면은 미디 당고 두디 제와시라야 말에 계지 이내 지당기 계지지 시그러 이내 미디단 제와 타 녀르도 안에 계지 이내 가리나 시그레 빼 디직지 야지 여러 가세 투비네 디 너부터 그러지.
So by now, if suppose any one of you already have a very good practice of Tara, then there is no much further elaboration to be offered. You already have a very good practice of Tara, you just continue. As for those who would like to start a Tara practice, so we start by maybe before this, you don't know anything about Tara, then you start to know actually at the very least, based on the explanation just given now. So you start to know what is Tara, who is Tara. And then if suppose anyone, a beginner one, would like to take Tara as the Yidam and would like to engage into the Tara practice, what is to be done now at the beginning level initially is very important to remember Tara, to recollect on her, to be mindful of her. This is the very first step to at all times remembering Tara. Why we should be remembering Tara at any given time? In order to feel closer to Tara. So in order to feel closer to Tara, this is not difficult to understand. In daily activities, at some point of time, maybe we get to know to a person for the first time. So because this is the first time, we don't feel any closeness. But then when we talk with the person, we talk just in general. After that, we grow closer to this person. We begin to remember the person more and more. And the way we talk with the person already changed. What initially common conversation, general conversation, you start to talk in a closer way because the connection already there. So this is the way we address the practice of the Tara. If you would like to take Tara as your Yidam, then Tara initially someone you're not very close to, but you try to remember her most of the time and then start to grow that closeness with her.
지주 주면 냠내 간데스 지고 그래서야 안에 지주 주면 공야 지주 주면 간데스 공그래서야디 안에 튀지말도 쉬위스 단도 주주서서
Yes. As the real practice itself, we need to meditate on the deity, and the way to meditate on the deity, we will see this more thoroughly in the next session. As for now, the time is up.
Sashi, Rokijo Shime Vacha, Raglan Shime Devaki, Sange Sinto Mete Devaki, Rogananda Shiva Javasho, Ibram Gurura Namandala, Amiri
Sayang.
It's a short announcement. There will be lunch is being sponsored, provided for everyone by Yaling, June and Bob today for your lunch here. So it'll be brought downstairs. So do stay.